One of them is what is called retort, which is commonly used, which is, you can see several products from like Kitchens of India or ITC or Tatas, which are selling, or MTR for that matter. They sell these food. You will get sambar rice, or you will get dal bukhara and this kind of stuff. But they are all what are called retort food, and they have a very long shelf life. But when you but then the taste of that is not preserved, because when you heat, they are all done by heating it up to 120 degrees centigrade, and that results in destruction of both nutrients as well as taste. Okay, then, but what we do is we are using a technology called HPP, which preserves the life of, it is actually a cold technology, and that results in preserving the taste and nutrition value of the food. And as you know, that those are the two important ingredients when you sell, when you create food. So this quickly explains. Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. First few seconds was lost during this. So can you again introduce yourself and then about NUTY? Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. So NUTY, this company started about 3 years ago in Bangalore, and we are in a Bangalore-based company, and we started with one promise to deliver nutritious and tasty food to the market. And when you say nutritious and tasty food, we also said that we are going to preserve the original taste of cooking. Whatever, when you cook food and you and when you take it off the stove, you should get that taste when we do it. So those are some of the key offerings, and based on that, we evolved certain methods and technologies to do it. So that is what our company has been doing. And then over the period of time, we have created a lot of technologies to preserve, distribute, and sell food, sell fresh food. Okay, so if you know, for example, the Indian market, everybody likes fresh food, so we are actually trying to cater to that particular market. Okay, and the company, so we were, like I said, we were a finalist in the MIT Solve for 2020 Global Sustainable Food System, because we extend the shelf life of food for a very long time. That is 30 to 45 days. Our food can remain fresh. And the beauty is, it is not frozen or anything. It is fresh at refrigerated temperature. Refrigerated temperature normally, the home refrigerated temperature is between 5 to 10 degrees centigrade. So it will, at that temperature, it will remain fresh for 30 days or so, and you can just eat it and eat it. Okay, and like I said, we own the full stack of the food chain, which is, we build the food, we have methods to distribute it, we have technology to distribute it, and we have technologies to sell it. That is, when I say sell it, obviously it means through self-service kiosks or e-commerce. Okay. So among our offerings, we have fresh kits. Fresh kit is basically fruits and vegetables. We sell that, and these are available on a subscription basis, and it is available in 3 cities or 4 cities right now. That is Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, and Coimbatore. Okay. And then, of course, we are selling ready-to-eat meals, which is ready-to-eat meaning you just have to heat it up and have it. Okay. So our core preservation technology is what we call HPP, and it is actually a technology which doesn't involve heating or anything. So the original taste of the cooking remains, and the shelf life is extended to 30 to 40 days. So it is basically, HPP stands for high pressure pasteurization, and it is a cold storage technique. And as opposed to something which is already in India, which is called retort packaging, which is, you must have seen products from companies like ITC, which is that, Tatas, I don't know, maybe Haldiram's also, I'm not so sure. But like here I mentioned MTR and Tasty Bite, which are there. They use this thing of raising the temperature to 120 degrees centigrade for 5 to 10 minutes. And what that does is, the food may remain good for like 3 to 4 months or more, but it loses flavor and nutrients. That is, the taste is gone and the nutritional value of the food drops. A lot of the chemicals that give nutrition out of food get destroyed as a result of this. And you must have felt it also when you eat retort food. Every food has a dominant taste. You will just get that dominant state, but the nuances around that dominant taste will go away. So this is what this retort cooking does. Okay. So this is how the HPP actually works. Unprocessed batch, you load the product, you have a water tank at low pressure, and you create a pressure differential, which results finally in high pressure, and finally you get a processed batch. So it's a non-thermal technique that inactivates harmful pathogens and vegetative spoilage, microorganisms by using pressure. Okay. Then, of course, the next problem is how do you distribute it? So we actually have a method to distribute it. We have cold chain trucks which are there, and they go to various places to do it. Okay, to distribute it. And we are, like I said, we are available in Bangalore, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and of course in tier 2 cities we are there in Thane and Coimbatore. Okay, so this is about the technology company. Okay, and if you look at our achievements and milestone, so the first food company in India to develop ready meals and ready to eat curries. So some of the feathers in our cap is we are the only company we can keep, say, even something like fish fresh for and ready to eat for 30 days. And the beauty is, fish has a property. You will see if you look at ITC or any of these companies, they don't offer fish. Why don't they offer fish? Because that retort thick cooking will destroy the fish. It will make it fibrous and it will break it down into smaller pieces. Our technology doesn't do that. So these are all some of the things that we are actually selling. In fact, one of our most popular item is prawns biryani, and that is seafood. Okay. So, and then of course these are our customers right now. Okay, we are in several stalls, like Bangalore railway station. We have a stall, and it's quite popular there. People just pick it up on their way to go, and we will be shortly selling on railways. So these are some of the things that we have. But what I want to actually focus on is not on the food part of it, but what is the technology that has gone into solving these particular problems. Just to let you know, first is we have some tech, on a simple this thing, we have a mobile POS as in you can use your phone and WhatsApp or Telegram, and it becomes a POS. So you can bill your customers directly, completely 100% digital payments people can do. Then we have created this unmanned chiller. And what this does is, this is very suitable for controlled environment like corporate office and various various complexes like apartment complexes where the personnel is known. So all you have to do here is you scan a QR code. You have to be a member. Once you scan the QR code and you have money in your wallet, or you can use your credit card to deposit some money, the fridge will open, you pick up whatever you want, you close the door, and you walk away. And the customer and the product will bill you. And of course, you can ask, what if he doesn't pay back? But then we know his phone number, etc., etc. All those things are known by this. Here we are doing this by utilizing RFID technology. That is, each item is tagged with RFID, and you do that. And of course, the control comes from cloud. So we have a pretty large presence on Azure right now, and we are having a microservices architecture. We are integrated with several things like WhatsApp, Telegram. We will have a Facebook version fairly quickly, and you can order the food, and Facebook Messenger version, and you can order you can use that. So there is no client download to do a purchase. The other things that we are working on, so that is us, and in the center that's me actually. These are the two founders, Ray and Naveen. They are the two founders of the company. I joined about 18 months ago, and I am the CTO of this company. So we are in several of these food shows. We have been regularly awarded. Okay, and we were at the Bangalore IoT show, and there also, our stalls were a huge hit. So this is some of the crowds that come up to show when they see this technology that we have and people coming to buy the food. Okay, we have a factory in Hosur, and we have a large factory in Hosur and a smaller factory in Bangalore. So that's how that is where most of our manufacturing is done. And since we are preserving technology, we are preserving our technology. We have preserving technology. We ship the food from these places using our cold chain trucks to wherever we want to go, wherever it needs to be sold. Of course, as expansion happens, we may have several other places where we will start up. Okay. So if you look at the food industry per se, what are the problems that we want to solve for people to make it a habit so that they consume food from us? One is taste. And when I say taste, taste is basically 3 or 4 parameters that determine the taste: aroma, flavor, texture, and temperature. So for example, you can't eat ice cream heated, so it has to be cold. So that's these 3 or 4 parameters that determine the taste. So the temperature has to be right for that particular food. Then of course, nutrition. You cannot have any technology that destroys the nutritional value of the food. The third thing is wastage. That is a very important thing, and that is one of the reasons. If you know, for example, in India, 30 to 40% of our actually produce is actually wasted. Okay, India is a strange country which is food sufficient but nutrition deficient. This is very funny, right? There could be an angle of poverty in nutrition, in ability to get nutritious food. But in general, companies that are having a lot amount of food will not be nutrition deficient. We are not like sub-Saharan Africa where you have this particular problem. In India particularly, we have plenty of food, but nutrition is low. What is the reason? There are any number of reasons. Then the other thing is wastage. And of course, the fourth and final one is hygiene. So we can pretty much guarantee that from the time the food exits our factory to the final, till the time it reaches to your plate, no human hands need to touch it except yours. Okay, so these are some of the things that we can we control and monitor throughout the thing. And I mentioned several things about distribution. One of the things was the smart chiller. The smart chiller is one way to distribute the food in places where people need them. Okay, you can have these devices in apartment complexes, you can have these devices in corporate offices and that kind of stuff. So this is what makes for the entire technology offering. And along the supply chain and along our chain, we monitor temperature of at what temperature is the food preserved. So while it is going in trucks or while it is in the inside the fridge, we know at every moment of time what is the temperature it is preserved at. And of course, there are other things that can be done once you have these kind of devices. Expired food can be tagged. So if at all somebody picks up some expired food, it will tell you, hey, you have picked up an expired item, please don't consume it. So those kind of things become possible, which is not possible in other supply chains except ours. Okay. So as far as the other part of the technology offering is, we have one version of the technology which is through distribution method, is through the smart chiller. The second is pure play e-commerce, which we are done through messaging. And here actually what we are done is we are going to do natural language processing. Of course, natural language processing is beaten to death, but and especially for messaging, everybody actually claims that we are doing natural language processing, but none of them support what is called conversational style of ordering. So, for example, I cannot make a statement to any of these food messaging apps which say, I am, I can use a term, I am a pescatarian, or I like chicken curry, or I want everything but egg. You can't do a statement like that. Okay, it will not give you responses to such a question. Typically, what they all do is they will say, okay, share your location. Here is the menu. Select one product. Type 1 to select product 1. Type 2 to product. So that isn't natural language processing. That doesn't help. It is not natural language processing for the simple reason that it is not getting information from sentences. It is only sending some text out, and which masquerades as a menu, and you pick up that information. But we have solved those kind of problems. So you can actually type, say, what do you have for me today? It will give you 15 items. Then you can say, very important, I do not want chicken. I don't want chicken is far more important than I want chicken. You have to be able to analyze a negative sentiment and then prepare a response. So that is a slightly more intelligent response than saying, here are 15 items and you select one. Or like I said, you can classify food at the back end. You may have heard of the term, I use the term pescatarian. Pescatarian means I like fish-based food. So if you type I am pescatarian, it will give you fish products. Okay, so those are some of the things that this product will do. Okay, so the natural language part, and we also plan to use eventually for machine learning will be used for what we call recipe creation. So we will eventually go there. So there are some things that are very important. Is we always have speculated, can you create a recipe? Okay, because for example, if you take food, there are about 20 odd cooking styles like boiling, baking, steaming, frying. These are all the things that you do. So can you look at ingredients that go into food like rice, chicken, vegetables, etc., etc., marry it with the cooking process and determine what could be the taste and the spices that go into flavoring the food. Can you determine what is going to be the outcome of this? Okay, so there are several things that we use our intelligence. Chefs use their intelligence to create dishes, okay, which probably never exist, but they use the standard 18 or 20 cooking techniques. So they know, for example, a chef knows that if I do this to this product, I mean, if I perform operation A on this particular product, this will be the outcome in terms of texture. If I add this particular flavor or this combination of spices, this is the flavor. Now, can that be predictable? Can you then create dishes on the fly? Okay, so these are all some things that we are going to experiment with in future using machine language. But for the time being, of course, we are going to use natural language processing for ordering. And we want to, of course, make it speech-based, which is very important because I should be able to order a food that I want with one line. And you will never be able to do it with a non-natural language processing. For example, if you use Swiggy, you have to do minimal some things. That is, you have to select the item, probably select the restaurant, look at the menu, select the item, pay and do. I want to change that and say I should be able to say to the phone, I want to order chicken biryani, which has got 350 calories, and my restaurant of choice is this. That's it. A single line. Order a chicken biryani, and if the restaurant is known, you don't even need all of that. You just send me a chicken biryani, which is 500 calories. That's it. Everything else has to be, including payment. So if you have a wallet, it will get deducted from your wallet. A single line statement delivered either through speech or through a messaging app should result in an order to my place. There isn't, at this moment of time, those kind of technologies. This will come fairly shortly in the market. And that we said, and that is why we are saying our messaging is truly using natural language processing, and we are using conversation, and this will be available for everybody. We will expose this through our platform to our partners. Okay, so so this is all I have to say as far as this is concerned, because I was told it's about half an hour. I'm open to certain questions that anybody has to answer. I'm open to any kind of questions on this. And let me also declare one thing. We are desperately hiring, and we want people to share our resume. I will, after a talk, I will share the my email with Anurag, where if you are interested in joining and becoming part of our journey, we'll be happy to entertain those resumes.
So yeah, thank you, Subhas. So I must say, NUTY is going to be the next big thing for a billion people in India. And I personally know Subhas, and I have personally tried food of NUTY, and it's the best thing I have seen. So yeah,
Thank you,
uh,
Anurag.
yeah, and thank you so much for taking your time on Sunday. We have few questions. I will tell you. So Priyansu is asking, will it be cost effective?
What is the meaning of cost effective? Can you explain what?
Actually, I think it will be cheaper. So all these things. So
Yeah, so
there is
our
cloud and
SKUs
all.
start. Yeah, so our cost for the food start from a food perspective. Our SKUs start from 50 rupees. So an upma you could get for 50 rupees to 180, 170, 130, those kind of prices. Okay, so cost effective, you have to tell me cost effective for whom. Okay.
Okay. So I think
I didn't understand what is the
so. That's
specific meaning of
so.
that.
If Priyansu, if you are listening, you can ask your question again with more clarity. So we'll move on to next question. So Sushant is asking how this smart chiller works.
Okay, so obviously, smart chiller works. We have two versions of the smart chiller. The first one that is in the market now, it uses RFID technology. So each product is radio tagged. Okay, and it is placed in the product. So what happens at the back end is, when the food is produced, you associate a RFID tag to a specific SKU at the back end. Then it is shipped out, and once it is loaded in a particular chiller, that particular smart chiller's inventory is updated. So we know that this SKU is in this. The RFID, obviously, it has got sensors all around it. Okay, so when you open the door, when you scan the QR code, the user's mobile phone is recognized. So user can take one of the two actions: deposit some money using a credit card or maintain a wallet. So if there is requisite balance, which is about 100 rupees, it will open the door for you. You pick up the item and you close. So then it will sense which product was removed, and then it will it will send you a link to settle the bill. So if it is less than 100 rupees, fine, there is nothing to be settled. It will just send you, this is what you purchased and this was your invoice, and it will be deducted from your wallet. Otherwise, he will send you a link to pay. Okay.
Yeah. So next question: can it be transported to all over India from Bangalore?
Mostly yes, but if at all the company expands to that. So like I said, from Bangalore we have one manufacturing factory in Hosur, so we are selling to 5 cities. So if at all we come to North India, it is probable that we may develop a factory somewhere else. Okay.
Ritik is asking how farmers in Bihar can be helped with NUTY.
Yes. So with the you never had APMC, right? So we in Hosur, for example, Hosur is a vegetable and fruit capital of India. Okay, especially in South India. So you can actually procure stuff directly from the market. You can potentially have these things that manufacture. So Hosur, our factory is in a semi-rural area. Farmers actually directly come to sell the produce. They come from the farms and they come and sell it. to our factory, and we pick up stuff from our factory in our Hosu factory. Okay, so how can farmers be helped? Obviously, you shorten the supply chain for them, and you procure it directly. They don't have to go through mandis or some intermediate party. Okay.
So next question is from Akash. Is there any option to start unmanned store in Bihar?
Yeah, certainly. We are launching the unmined store in these cities. We need about 70 or 80 square foot of place to have an unmanned store with 4 or 5 chillers. Okay, we are happy to do it. So if there is interest and you have 80 square feet of place in a reasonable location, we are happy to support it.
So next question is, would it be possible to train NLP to understand customer allergies and recognize food intolerance?
Yes, certainly. And that is why we are saying, so this is the question of classification. So for example, if there is somebody who's intolerant, you just have to tell the backend that this particular item contains lactose. So then you can train the person to understand lactose intolerance. You can train the NLP to say that I am lactose intolerant, so it will not give you food that contain milk products, right?
So last question, do you have any plan to open NUTY store in Patna, especially for ready to food?
If opportunity, it will come through railways eventually, but if there is opportunity, certainly we will do it. We are looking for B2B relationships where this is possible. So if there is a local entity in Patna who may be interested, we are happy to do it.
Okay, so that's all the questions we have answered. We'll
Okay.
wait for like 1 more minute if someone has some other question. Otherwise, we will wrap up. So as Subhash told, they are also hiring. So I will put that website and email in the comments. You can check that and you can mail him. So it will be, I have worked with Subhas and we will love to work with Subhas. That's all I can say. So we have worked for like 2 years together, and I would say that you will love to work with Subhas. So yeah, that's from my side. So I think no questions, Subhas. So
Yeah.
thank you, Subhas. Thank you for taking time. Like on Sunday, I have disturbed you for
No
this
problem.
session.
Pleasure was mine. Thank you, folks, for
Thank,
attending.
thank you.
So can I leave?